All right, welcome back. Thank you. We have our last presenter, last but very much not least. We have Angela Miller from South Union, and she is here to talk about how she uses technology, and I don't want to take up any of her time, so I will let her begin.
Again, my name is Angela Miller. I teach second grade. I've taught for 13 years in the Des Moines Public School District. The last year has really been a journey for me into blended learning, and I will be sharing my favorite tool, which is Nearpod. But before I get there, I just want to share my why. Why do I do what I do? Why do I invest my time in technology? Blended learning is not an easy way out as a teacher. It's not replacing me. It's only enhancing what I do. So it does, I have to invest a lot of time in it. But with that, here's my why. We're a 21st century atmosphere now. We're global education. Our students are linked more now than ever to technology. Things that I do in my classroom, my best friend teaches in Bondurant, and so we buddy read. My kids get on Skype, her kids get on Skype, they have a buddy, they read together.
Oh, I have a pretty big voice though, too. Okay. Those same buddies I have in Bondurant, they also are pen pals with, so they will get on my email and email each other. Our kids do not have access to their own email right now. Another friend also teaches in Hawaii, so they get to pen pal with their Hawaiian buddy. I have a friend in Germany, so we pen pal with our German buddies. So we're hoping to Skype with Hawaii and Germany. Germany will definitely be the trick, but in Bondurant, they love that. And they think they're Skyping so far away, and they're not, but they don't know that. We take virtual field trips through the technology I'm going to show you today. The website I'm going to show you is Nearpod. We take virtual field trips. We went to fire stations all around the world through Nearpod. They use Kik, which I just learned about. Didn't know about Kik. Skype, FaceTime, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, Google. Again, these kids are invested way more than we are in technology. So I'm just trying to keep up with them. My own passion for technology is part of why I teach. iPads are how I started as a special ed teacher for 11 years. I used the iPad all the time. I used my own personal one, then finally got some in our school. And the kids did great things in special ed with it. The lower picture is my best friend Miranda. We are the ones who go back and forth in Bondurant. My friend Jackie is in Hawaii. She's the one I work with. I didn't have Steph's picture for Germany. Nearpod is my favorite tool. It's an interactive presentation website. Of course, YouTube, teaching channel, but mostly I do it for those pumpkins who you can't see their faces, but they're the most precious little things. They don't learn the way we do. They learn very differently. They're moving all the time. They can't sit still. They're little hummingbirds. And they're looking for information constantly. I told them that we were going to be talking about bats. We've talked about bats for a week. We've talked about weather. We have a meteorologist coming. They went home, Googled what they could, came back and told me all about it. And so, well, the job's done. So now we got to take that information and put it somewhere. And so that's what my kids are working on, a lot of project-based learning. Nearpod's a way for me to get them there so that they can have the information, research where it's still a little bit in my control, and then create projects. If you're at your computer, if you could go, how many have used Nearpod before? Oh yeah, a couple of you. You'll be a great resource at your table. If you can go to nearpod.com, when you are there, and I'll give you just a minute to get there, you will have a join session up in the right corner of your computer. If you would put in that code, the IXDLG, and join the session. If at any point during this presentation you lose contact with my screen, it is always up in the left-hand corner of my screen. Anybody need another second with that code? If you're online watching, you can do this too. Again, the code is right up here in the left-hand side. So this is just beginning. This is the beginner's version. There's lots you can do with it, but I just want to take you through the basics. My goal for you today is that you will develop an understanding of what Nearpod is, how to use it in your classroom, small group, or professional development. Our dean is trying to embed it in professional development as well. And then I want you to be able to create a Nearpod presentation that you could use. I want you to take this, if you're able to, and go back tomorrow and be able to try it. Why I like Nearpod. Again, it's a digital presentation. It's a PowerPoint, but on steroids. I mean, you get to put in questions. You get to put in open-ended ones, polls, quizzes, drawing features, and the kids are going to respond to it. And what I like about it, the blended part, it comes with data so that I can further my instruction, and I can look at that data. It's engaging. The kids figured out, my second graders can do it quickly. One of my good friends teaches in kindergarten. She uses it in kindergarten. Her kids know how to log on to Nearpod. They know how to put that code in. They know how to go through and answer the questions like they're supposed to. It's teacher friendly. Again, it's engaging. There's data. Did I mention it's engaging? These pumpkins, when I tried it the first time last year, it took an hour to get through my presentation. And I wasn't even watching. I just kept going. Those kiddos stayed with me the whole time. They were so excited to get to answer these questions and see their answers on the board. So I want to get to know you. And you can see as I'm working, my screen will look different than yours. My slides are coming across your screen. Where do you spend most of your time as an educator? Answer the question. Coaching, intervention. Are you kindergarten, first, second, other? As you answer, a tip for this page 2. We are fortunate to have Epsons and we use Smart Notebook, and so I can put up a screen and cover the answer so the kids can't copy it. I can also freeze my screen. Some teachers freeze their screen so that the children cannot see how each other answers. I'm seeing lots of coaches, interventionists. Awesome. This again gets recorded so I can go back at the end of the presentation and look at the information. I've been in education for how many years? 0 to 5, 16 to 20, 11 to 15. As my students answer questions, I do take the time to go through and talk about where they're answering, how they're answering. Technology should be used to It should be used to enhance our instruction. It won't replace us, and it shouldn't be used as a babysitter. So what is Nearpod? This was taken from Nearpod's website. This is what they advertise as it. It's an active engagement presentation. You create or download your interactive multimedia. I created my PowerPoint first on PowerPoint and then just embedded it in my Nearpod. I had it uploaded it as slides. And then you share it. You can share this in a whole group setting. I can use this with my students as a whole group, and I'm going to show you an example of the second grade story we just went through in a little bit. I can use that whole group. I can assign it as homework. If you assign it as homework right now, it does need an email, but I've been working with Nearpod to look into logins. Our kids have a one-click or are working towards a one-click login, and so I want them to be able to just click it, put in the code I give them, and access what I need them to access. You will find most of any of these websites or tools or apps that we've talked about today. If you contact the companies, they really do want to work with us. We are the ones on the front line using it. And so Nearpod's figuring out a way that they can do that. Your students interact and submit responses. You just saw that happening. And you can monitor and measure the students, what they're doing, how they're using it, the pace. So I can monitor the pace of my Nearpod presentation. How do I get started? if you're unfamiliar with it, I just learned the login page changed, so I apologize. Where you first logged in to Nearpod, there's a part to just join yourself and I used my school email. I was able to log on quickly. I'll even pull it up again. So it looks like this. You can go up here and sign in. You can sign up to become or to use the Nearpod. It is free. There are free features. The things I'm showing you today are all free features I did not have to pay for. They have a paid version, and that does include the virtual field trip. But Google and YouTube, things like there's so many other options too if you weren't able to pay. But even the paid features, they are pretty cool. So you can join here. I'm going to walk you through one of my slides before I walk you through the created ones. So I'm going to try to see if it'll let me dual log in. All right, I'm going to exit our presentation so I can go back to my library. Sometimes it does take a second. But I take my stories, I usually do this in reading. I've dabbled in math a little bit with it. But with reading, I've taken it with our whole group story. And you can take screenshots. When I started, I never took a screenshot of the book. All the kids had their little anthology book right in front of them and a computer. And I did it in partners. We have 7, at the time, had 7 revolves in our classroom. And so I used it with 7 revolves, 7 groups of kids. But it's taken a while. Let's see. I'll try this way. There we go. So here I will walk you through one of them that I did just the other day. It is called Superstorm. So if any of you are in Journeys and maybe have seen this, if you'll go ahead, you can put in this code if you'd like, or you can just see as I walk through what I've done as an example. Again, if you miss this code or want to try to catch it, it is up in the left-hand corner. So this is Superstorms. This is the first page of the story. I just took a screenshot of it, uploaded it, or I used a snippet tool on our computer. And I can easily then engage the kids. They have it right in front of them. They do not need the source book in front of them. And we go through and we read. I'm up in front and I'm reading this. I might ask some of those kids to read this page for me. And we talk about, of course, this week we've been talking about main idea in detail. So I am able to look at that with these kids in a little more detail and then have them right away. Sudden violent changes in weather are called, and then they'll have to answer what they're called. If they don't know, I'm going to bounce back. I can go back and say, oh, I saw a couple different answers up here. Or I'm understanding that maybe you guys aren't really sure what a sudden violent change in weather is. So we can go back to this screen. On my whiteboard, I can pull up my highlighting tool and highlight where we see that in the text together. I can keep going and again, talk about each page. On this page, this is a cool feature. My kids love this feature. So this is a wordless page. And I ask them, what do you think about this picture? How can you caption this picture? They're working on text features right now. So they get out their stylus and we have, they can touch the screen and write on the screen. So they create it and then I want you to do the same. So how would you, if it popped up on yours, how would you caption this? And then I will see all their little pictures and captions come up on the screen. So take a second, give it a try. The kindergarten teacher that I'm friends with, she uses this for phonics a lot. So she will put a picture of a bear and have the kids draw, what letter does that bear start with? B, B, and they will have to draw the letter B on it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So when I go, and I'll show you a report right at the end, I can pull this and I will see each of their slides with what they wrote. And it keeps your link open for 24 hours. So you probably noticed when I first logged on to this one, do you want to resume from yesterday? And I told it no, because otherwise all the kids' data is up there. But if you can't finish in one day, which oftentimes I can't, we will come back the next day and be able to use it. And it'll keep the data from yesterday. But it keeps, this whole presentation will keep in my library for as long as I want it to. Oh, I like that, boom. So you can see easily, and I can pull that up and we can talk about it. I can talk about, oh, Emily, I love how you wrote that. I can really pinpoint groups and talk about what they wrote, and I can have them converse with each other about what they see. I can keep going through it, and I have a open-ended question. Write one detail that tells about lightning. If they're not sure, they do have access to the, we call it the orange book, the anthology, so that they can go back and look. Because I will say one downfall when you're doing a whole group, if I want to bounce back, their screen's bouncing back with me, so they can't keep typing. But when I assign this as homework, they can freely go about the presentation at their pace. So now to create one. Let's see. If you are in Nearpod, I did it again. You just start a new presentation. I'm going to go back to my library. You will probably see these tabs come up. My library, Explore, Join, Create, and Reports. You can get free Nearpod presentations that are already created by teachers like us. They're great. Some are not so great, but you can edit them and make them your own. You can create your own. There are paid ones. I've never purchased one, but they're there. So you can search and look for whatever it is you need. But to create your own, it takes a little time at first, but I can create one easily in 10 to 15 minutes now. And so I just went to the Create tab. I'm going to call this one just numbers. And when you create your slides, you have these options: add content, add web content, add activity. Content are the things like your slides, your pictures, your graphics. If you want to add audio. Field trip is a feature that is for paid, but sometimes they'll offer it up as a beta try where they want you just to try it out, or a free trial. So if I put again, you don't need pictures with any of this. When I started, I didn't have one picture, not one. I just marked where I needed to use my slide. Web content, you can put a URL. So when I use Plickers, if you've heard of Plickers, or if I'm using other web-based, if I wanted to go on Wonderopolis, I can just put the URL in and it'll pop right up. The kids can go explore. We did that with NASA. I put NASA's up. The kids could go and explore. If I go to activity, that's where all the fun stuff is. Open-ended questions, poll, quiz, draw it. Fill in the blank is with the paid subscription. And I actually didn't pay for my subscription. I use it so much, and I tweet out with Nearpod on my class Twitter page, and I tell so many people about it that they very kindly upgraded my subscription. And I found out they do that to a lot of people. So if you like it, share it. You may get it for free. So open-ended question for numbers. You can just put in easily. So one of the questions I want my kids to answer. I'm going to have to put this down a minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone asked if you have you ever used a Reading A to Z book and posted it on Nearpod?
I have never used Reading A to Z. So, no. If you can save it, though, if you can save it to your desktop and put it on there, so if you can take a snippet of it, you can use it, usually. Welcome. So I want them to answer, write 246 in word form. So I just put that up there. It's a quick check. I don't have to do much with it. It's right there. The kids can go in, and that will be, once this is published, they will have access to my presentation. That's an open-ended question. A way to write 246 in word form. Oh. And in my classroom, when technology doesn't function the way we want it, We say I love technology. Because I used to groan, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So now this is taking a minute. I'll try to reload. There we go. I can add another slide. Again, I'll just go to activity. And this time I'm going to add a poll. I'm going to do true, false. Another way to write 342 is 300 plus 40 plus 2. I can do true, false. And then save it. I'm going to go in and create a draw it activity. In Draw It, you can put a picture. So this is where my friend Nadia will put pictures of a bear or a cat, whatever it is she's working with the phonics skill. I will put in, I want them to just draw the picture. Oops. Draw the picture form for 457. And then you can save that. Again, you can put in images. So if you have actual base 10 blocks, you can stick that in there. And then that saves. This is 3 questions. It's very quick. I can publish it. It could be the opening to your math lesson for the day. So when I go to publish that, you have to hit publish at the bottom. And then that, it does make you put in some descriptors. So for grade 2, for math, it is not published so everybody can see it unless you tell it to do that later. So this will be only for you. And then here it is in my library ready to use. In my grade level, I do a lot of the Nearpods and I share it with my colleagues. You can share these with your colleagues so they can use it too. They create things once in a while and will send them to me. And to share it, these 3 dots, just click share and put in their email. I would love for you to get to work on one to just get a basic understanding of adding. There's no better practice than actually doing it yourself. And then you can try it out on the people around you as well. And so take a moment if you haven't signed on or logged on, explore a little bit, see what you can add or do with Nearpod. Yep. The question was, can students create these? Yes, they can. I have not tried that myself, but I know that there are 4th grade teachers that have done this. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Very kid-friendly to navigate. Any other questions? Yep.
So if you upload a Google slideshow, can you embed questions in between those slides?
Yep. So when absolutely. So that was a great question. I'll go into one that I have already, the question was, if you embed the slides, can you go in and stick your questions or polls or things between the slides? Absolutely. I'll open up Superstorms. I put in all the pictures, and then as you create slides, so if I go to create a slide, an activity, I'll just do a question. What is this Superstorm? It will always go to the end of my presentation, way down here. I can go move it anywhere I want. So maybe I want this to be a prediction question. I will go ahead and put it before I even open up, or right after the title. They can see the title and then, well, what do you think a superstorm is? Having them access their prior knowledge or predict about what the story will be about. Nearpod's big thing too is less is more. So when you're putting together your presentation and you're looking at creating a slide, less is more. Too much information is overwhelming, and it's overwhelming for kids for sure. The other feature, if you're not really into wanting to make your own, when I go to my library or when I see my tabs, I can explore. And this is where I can go in and look at what's already been created. And you can filter things. So I can look for like addition doubles. Our kids are really working on their doubles right now. Oh, there was nothing there to match it. Let's see. So I just put in weather. Lots will come up for weather. You can preview these ahead of time. You can, once you get them downloaded, you can edit to make it work for you. Well, those are some interesting ones that came up this time around. I'm going to go back to a few key points before I let you finish exploring that I just think are important. Nearpod's fun. Don't overuse it. I got really excited and used it several days a few different lessons in a row. It lost some of its luster after a little bit, but then stopped for a little bit and came back to it, and the kids love it. It works on any device. It works on the $40 tablet from Walmart. It works on, it's Android-based, Mac-based, anything. It's on my iPhone, so if I don't have enough devices, I give my phone to a kid. They can do it on the iPhone. Again, it does not replace us. Of course, we know that with any technology. It enhances our instruction. That, I think, is going to be on my gravestone. Technology enhances our instruction. I say that so often. You can use it at any grade level with anyone. Again, our Dean of Students is using this with us as teachers. She does it kind of in a flipped model as well. She can send us something as homework to log in and look at before we get to our professional development. It's used in small group, whole group, assigned as homework. We have an interventionist using it in her small group of 3 to 4 kids. And they love it. They have a great time with it and find it very user-friendly. If you do, if you do have any questions, again, my name's Angela Miller. That's my contact information. A teacher quote, this was a very veteran teacher, fabulous lady to work with, has worked for 30 years in the school district. She was so excited because she came back to our PLCs last year and I did it. It was messy and I made mistakes, but my students loved it. And to me, we're messy. Teaching is messy. Teaching, I fail all the time. I will pull this up and something won't work. Or I put a slide in wrong, or they catch errors. They're second graders, but they catch when something isn't right. And they make sure you know. But I want them to see too that, yeah, the teacher is learning. The teacher wants to try something new. They really love it when we have a little failure or a little oops. But then we can also teach from it. So take a chance, give it a try, see how you like it. That first time might be messy. But by golly, keep trying and keep going at it. I'm curious to hear how your students do. And do send me an email. Let me know how your kids did with Nearpod. So I hope you got something out of Nearpod. I hope you get to use this in your room. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Angela. And also, if you guys have any questions for her, we do have some of the ones from some of our people from DCG here as well still. So thank you. A little more information about TIC for upcoming one is November 19th, and that is for 6th to 12th grade teachers or educators who are with a math focus. So we look forward to, if that's something interest, totally probably opposite of what most of you guys teach here, but if you have someone back at your districts who maybe would be interested in coming, the link to the information, here's a link to the feedback. There's also more information down here at the Heartland TIC website. Right there you can sign up to be a part of the TIC listserv, so you can get information about the upcoming TIC sessions. Also, we send out the videos, so once the videos are posted on YouTube, we'll send out links to those videos. So especially if you have someone in your district that you want to share these presentations with, that would be a great resource. And then also the videos will also be posted to that website as well. So there's also a link, like I said, to the feedback. If you could do that before you leave today, that would be great. Thank you, and thank you again to all the presenters. Oh, one more thing too. If there is someone that you know or you would like to present here at TIC, we are accepting proposals. And so if you want to let us know, we are accepting proposals for the 612 math and also the 612 ELA, which is December 3rd. So those are the ones that we're accepting proposals for. So you can send me an email and say, yes, I'm interested, or yes, I have someone whom it would be great to present. Everyone loves to get the email that says, you've been recommended by so-and-so to present. So definitely let us know if you or someone you know in your districts would be, because we couldn't put this on without you guys and without the wonderful presenters that we are able to bring in here. So thank you very much and have a wonderful afternoon.